Greetings, Hallowmaniacs, and welcome to another video. I sure hope you are enjoying the 31 days of Halloween as much as we are. For today's adventure, we are going to hit up two different antique stores within Wisconsin, ones that I have never visited before, and it will surely not disappoint as we find some hard to find vintage Halloween treasures. Let's go. Alright, so on my drive, I had a little bit of a drive here, but I wanted to stop and just admire the beauty of the coastline when you go down from the Upper Peninsula, Michigan to Wisconsin.
She's on the road again. Halloween Antiques Edition.
And look at this, though. I got to stop here and see where the Green Bay Packers
Lambeau Field. I'm jealous. That's super cool.
It was fun. And then stopped at Memories Antique Mall. Have never been here before, and this place was really pretty large, and they had a lot of great Halloween items out, and kind of was seeing this vintage inspired little coffee mug here with a little black cat for $10 and hand painted. Celebrate. I like that. I want to celebrate Halloween.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
All right, Joe.
Okay.
I should have got you the mug.
Now, this guy I love. We picked one of these guys up last year, but the good old Frankenstein blow mold. $125, that's kind of ballpark figure for what they go for. Actually, really good shape this one looks like to me, too.
It is. And, you know, there's different renditions. So sometimes he has, like, I want to say a tan jacket.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see, like, more of, like, the pink and, there's, like, little different renditions. And look at this classic candle. I loved it. I love that little face, and kind of looks like he's leaning to the side there, doesn't he?
Classic jack-o'-lantern with a little bit of a swagger.
That's right. And then I also had it's not technically Halloween, but it had that Halloween vibes to it, and I thought that would look really cool if you had like some china or just some valuables and kind of precious things that you wanted to have up with that little bit of holiday color.
Rocking the orange and black. I love it.
Yeah. But this place was really big, so I had a couple different buildings, and I was kind of going through, and here, look at that little Frankenstein cup.
Yeah, I like that cool plate, too. That's a cool plate.
And what do you see? Blinkies.
Oh. Well, I'm looking at the head in the box. What the heck is that all about? Who's that?
I don't know, but it was kind of funny.
Wow, yikes.
And then, well, I was more attracted to the little orange
Yeah, the blinky lights are cool. I agree.
But the random head was definitely an oddity there, but...
Head in a box, pass.
But those weren't bad. You know, it had good coloring. I've seen this as a classic Dollar Tree decoration right there. And
$6 on them?
No,
this is something different. Okay,
no,
my bad.
This was like a little vintage... I think this was like a reflector patch.
That's pretty cool. I like the design on it. That's neat.
And I think maybe 80s, 90s maybe on it. I didn't see a date, but kind of had that vintage appeal. And of course, you know, here's one of those classic buckets. And, you know, Grand Venture made these. And usually I think around the 90s, maybe 2000s. But $8 is not bad price.
That's cool. Going back to those dollar store things, though, I hate when they put dollar store stuff in there and try to charge antique prices. I can't stand that.
That's why you just got to be aware. Know what you're looking for. And look at that little pumpkin.
That's a different one. I haven't seen that guy before, yeah. Not a bad price on him either.
And here's that other color rendition. See?
Frankie. He's got the different colored jacket. You're right.
Yep. So it's like whether you want the purple pink one or the little tan one here.
This Frankie a little bit more. $159. You're paying the premium for the jacket color change.
It was a costume change. It's like the Oscars, the Halloween Oscars.
That's right. We've got this guy. We've got the ghost with the black cat and the pumpkin. He's pretty cool. Classic. And
look at this one, the little boo. That's cute. You don't see this one too much, but...
No.
And it's a smaller one from 1997, Grand Venture, $35. I think that's a pretty good price.
I like the Dracula behind it. He's kind of on my bucket list, too, to eventually add, but it's got to be for the right price.
I don't know why. I want to say I've seen a different color rendition on that one, too. But
yeah, you probably have. That's not a bad price, actually. I usually see them priced over $200, so that's not a bad price.
And who else loves, like, the Bela Lugosi one? That is a cool
man,
one.
That's my favorite.
But look at this. This was a vintage game. Oh, hell. I'd never seen this before. Don't really know what the game is. But $16. And I was like, that's... You know, while I didn't... You know, I'm not really a fan of...
Would you really want to win that game?
Yeah.
When it's called Oh, Hell?
But that's a Halloween-looking game to me.
It is Halloween-looking. I agree.
These are rare.
Oh, those are cool. Look at that.
They're like the kind of like the candle ones that you see at Christmas. But these are like the pumpkin ones.
Oh, I wish you would have bought those. Those are cool.
Yeah, that would have been fun to fly home
Yeah,
with.
you were flying that trip.
It was like a mix of driving and flying, so.
That's a super cool set, though.
And this right here, this is a different kind of blow moldish type of Boo. Little discoloring, but not bad. And then he had, it looks like that pumpkin had his wisdom teeth taken out.
Something's going on.
A little sewn
He's
on
got the
cheeks
chipmunk cheeks going.
He does, but he's cute. And then, speaking of pumpkin candles, here's Double Trouble. So, again, they just had that vintage appeal. And then I found some more blow molds in here.
Oh, wow.
So, I saw the little stormtrooper hanging by the ghost there. And then here's this little pumpkin for $45. And not really a little pumpkin. I shouldn't say little.
That's pretty big. That's a different kind of face on that guy.
It is, but I don't know what's scarier. You have the little ghost or the little stormtrooper right there. But that was not a bad price either for the ghost. That's a classic one. And then you have...
That's an older one, and they've got the diamond eyes.
And $5 only. That's
not a bad price. A little faded, but great price still.
Yeah, especially if you want to grab that vintage. Now, this is something that, I have been looking. These are released from this year's Dollar Tree, and they're like these vintage-inspired signs. You could get them for $7, I believe. This vendor had it marked at $21, but I don't blame them because I've never seen them out in the wild.
Yeah. Supply and demand. Sometimes I guess you can justify it a little bit, right? If they're not out there and you really want it, then, you got to pay the price, right?
That's right. And indeed.
Oh, look at that guy with the top hat. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. And I think he wasn't $85.
I've never seen that. Yeah, this is a really unique shop in the fact that there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. Oh, there's that Dracula again. And you're right. Different kind of color scheme going here.
This is like the silent film one.
It really is. $125
black and white
for that one.
So, but not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, especially too, it kind of has like the different color theme on it. And then, I saw the little dime featherstone turkey one kind of appearing. But this was great because they actually had a vendor with the Oddities and kind of had, promoting it right there. And look at this, the Wheel of Love.
Interesting.
I remember those growing up. Remember you would stick your hand and tell you the love meter or whatever it was. And and they would buzz your fingers.
Right.
But this vendor had a lot of cool, just different, unique oddities and items that you probably would not find otherwise. And I think they had their own store. Like, look at this, even the skeleton right here, $85. But you could tell this is not just like your skeleton that you pick up at a store. It's more of like a medical grade one.
Right.
It's definitely that they would use for teaching purposes. And look at this little Happy Halloween sign. So lots of cool things I was finding. If you're a Disney fan, this little mini, I thought it was a sign, but it's actually a little, like a backpack, those lounge flies. And those are, this one had the brand new tags on it and it was not a bad price for it considering it's new. A lot of people will collect these.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's a pretty good price too, knowing what Disney charges.
Mm-hmm. I had one where I actually had, it was a Haunted Mansion one.
Nice. Here's some Spooky Town stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. And they had it, again, it wasn't hooked up, but it looked like everything was pretty much intact and had like the box still with it. They had a couple different pieces there and a lot of these get retired and
you can't find them anymore out in the wild, right?
No, and you can pay a pretty good premium because what's out there is out there.
Yeah, I believe it.
But kind of moving through and I was kind of going around. This was something that was so cool. Look at this. I truly believe, I think this was a true paper mache pumpkin from like the 40s.
That one looks like an OG original for sure.
But I think it was repainted and I can't be for sure. But it just seemed like it was in too good a bright orange.
Too good to be true, right?
But look at how the bottom, you can tell it was an original because it has that mold on it.
It's got the circular design on the bottom, right?
Yeah, so I was like, I love that one. That was so cool. And then here is actually one, I believe it's the same one we got in Salem.
Yeah, we just got
Salem, Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow, right. Was that the Bethany Low one or something?
Yeah,
so that's cool.
That was not bad at all. And the price too, $39.
Not bad.
I think, they're selling a very good price. And then here is like a little vintage inspired kitty cat.
That's cool. I like the black cat one.
Yeah, and I love too the way they have like the vintage. It's almost like they outline the eyes and just sometimes it can look so cool when they do that. Here, again, another classic plastic pumpkin here, $49. I think a little bit shy of $50, but that is in pretty good condition. The eyes are really cool and it just has that classic look.
Sure does.
Here's another little blow mold with the little leprechaun. What's he doing there?
Popcorn decoration.
I love popcorn decorations.
That's cool. Look at the witch one. That's different.
Yes, and I definitely do want to show all my popcorn decorations.
That'll be a separate video.
Yes, that'll be a collection video one day, but the winter will be long.
Yes, it will.
But this witch was really cool, and then they had some more, like Halloween was scattered, and I like that look of that witch. She's really cool. And then they had a lot of like, here's another classic witch right here. I think she stirs the pot there.
Yeah. Stirring the pot, literally. Love it.
But they had their own Halloween tree here, and look at that vintage mask.
Super cool.
That's kind of like almost a tree topper of the tree here. That actually looks kind of cool with the black tree.
It stands out. It definitely draws you to that tree.
But it was time to go to our second stop. This one was it was Columbus Antique Mall, and it was actually about an hour and a half, I want to say, I drove, and I just made it probably within under a half hour of the opening before
This is the one I called and told you about when you were on the road for work. I'm like, you should check this out if you can. I remember this.
Yeah, and I made it, and I'm glad I stopped because they had a lot of great Halloween items.
Would I ever steer you wrong with Halloween?
No. It was good intentions. But, looking through, look at these old vintage pumpkin seeds.
That's pretty cool.
This one had a lot of cool, just different kind of items. I mean, look at the little mummy bowling pin.
Kind of a hodgepodge of a little of everything Halloween related.
It was. And things that you could decorate for autumn. I really like this old vintage style plates here. They were paper plates, but, $45 on those. But they are older. Yeah. They're not new. And I love the owls and just that classic orange, yellow, and black look to it.
We've been learning vintage Halloween and older school Halloween, man. It comes at a premium price tag. There's no doubt about it. And there's not a lot of this stuff out there.
No, and compared to other holidays, it can be, more of a pricey thing to collect than even vintage Christmas, vintage other holidays. It's just, there's something about Halloween, and really just, it could definitely cost a pretty penny. Open those checkbooks.
Spoken like a true Hallowmaniac.
Yeah. I think I was reflecting in my head. I was seeing dollar signs as I'm looking at all this stuff. But this was really fun. And this is a different kind of design. It's a vacuum mold. And it also had a nice little Afghan kind of knitted blanket there.
Oh, no. I'm surprised that didn't come home, those crocheted fall colors. I've been finding a lot of those.
I could have probably put it in my bag. Don't tempt me.
We just picked up the Switch this year. We found her at a flea market. She's pretty cool. That's not a bad price. $110, good coloring. And I like this guy, too.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one.
Standing jack-o'-lantern on the pole. That's pretty cool.
Not bad. And I love how they use little cards to price tags there. That's a really clever idea. This is one I'm on the lookout for. Definitely one of these vintage pairs of glasses. But I love that little... Sometimes I see them, they're like Zook the Clown or...
Zook the Clown. That's a Rosbro, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a cool piece. Candy container.
And a little blow mold up there. So it's, 3 great items of that.
Very good selection here, yeah.
Here's some more vintage Halloween. That's like the happy little pumpkin, and you could tell it's definitely a vintage pumpkin. Here they have a cake topper with a little black cat, so you see those around, and it's just, I love the look of the vintage. And the true vintage, it's awesome. And kind of going through, I found some more stuff kind of hiding in there. Look at that little pumpkin with his arms up.
Yep.
And then they had a little planter right here. And I love those little Lumineer kind of looking bags, that orange one in the back. But so many great things here. And it was just getting me ready for this October and just Halloween
Absolutely.
season.
Put our decorations out and get ready to celebrate the best holiday, Halloween.
Yes, and is everybody ready for Halloween? Have you decorated? Are you ones that do decorate? Maybe you just like to enjoy the other decorations, and let us know in the comments because I feel like we're a little behind.
And remember, if you're not doing anything on October 30th, we're going to do our first ever live stream, which I'm a little nervous about because I've never done a live stream through YouTube, but we're going to figure it out as we go along, and hopefully you guys will be along for the ride too. So
that's right. Don't judge us if we have some technical difficulties. But we will do our best, right?
We'll have some fun, and we're going to do a cool giveaway, too, so you'll definitely want to tune in. There'll be an announcement on that. Look at these guys. This is pretty cool. I like the skeleton ones, too.
Yeah, I always see, I think it's more common to see the stack of jack-o'-lanterns, but the skulls are actually very unique, because you don't see those very often.
I've never seen the stack of skulls like that. That is super cool.
Yeah, and it's more rare. And then, I love this. Look at this little plush here. It's only, I think, $3. I'll zoom in on the price here in a second, but I love that. I love vintage style plushes, and here they also had an old McDonald's Boo Bucket, so not a bad price for that, and it had all the graphics. Everything was intact. This was really cool. It was like that ornament material, but it looked so fragile that I would be afraid to...
Delicate, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even going close to that. I'm like, I'm going to just admire it, but... Yeah, it was a great, I love that kind of shiny metallic look to it, and its colors were great. This we actually got, you bought, it was like a vintage Halloween lot, and this actually came in it. And I always love it because I think it's such a cool package.
Yeah.
The little trick-or-treat cookie cutters right there. I mean, sometimes the packaging of these Halloween items are just, that's what draws you in.
The die cuts, I mean, there's a lot of cool pieces I'm seeing here.
Yeah, a lot of different die cuts, and have a little candle up there, the trick-or-treat bags. I even see a little girly candle.
Yep.
But look at that guy.
Old school jack-o'-lantern with the original insert, it looks like. That's cool.
Yeah, and they have those that come in a little bit smaller size, larger size, moderate size. Here is a great little noisemaker right here. I love that. That
is
just
awesome.
Classic look to it. And then they had also just some more kind of little vintage style. Even looks like a little pincushion right there. But here's a classic Roswell. And I always say this is a classic one because this is one that I think is kind of more the common ones that you'll see.
Yeah.
But she had such great color on her.
You gotta have the witch with the jack-o'-lantern, you know?
Yeah, it's a very common and just kind of that classic one. So here, I love this blow mold. I love the pumpkin one. That's a classic look. But then also that little gravestone one right here, $45.
That's not a bad price at all.
If I was local, that probably would have came home.
If we were local, we would have had some trouble in this shop. I'll tell you that right now.
That's right. And I was trying to go so fast because, I mean, there was probably about 3 buildings in this one. So
wow.
It's big, and I was trying to see as much as I can. And I don't feel like I even got to see all of it.
Yeah, you probably didn't. I hear you.
I was speed walking, speed recording, and hoping that I got everything. This is cool. This witch kind of just hanging out here on the corner. So that classic green face. And I don't know if you saw it. This, actually, I did grab this right here. So this is an older girly candle. And not a bad price for it. But look at this little vintage popcorn decoration. This one was cute. They kind of have these ones that have like the black kind of outline to it.
Right.
And those are different ones. You can see a couple other
than the ones from the Cage Company, which are kind of the older school ones.
Like this one. This one was really nice. We had that one at home. And then that's the decoration right there, the little jack-o'-lantern that kind of sparked our whole vintage Halloween
That's what started it all.
Obsession. So
started down the rabbit hole.
I know. That's where it started. And then, but here's, look at there, another little stack of skulls. We just talked about how we never see it.
This is like a Halloween masterpiece with all these really cool items.
Yeah, and it just kept going on and on and on. So much to see. But, as we kind of keep heading on out, I'll show you definitely some great classic decorations. And for all you vintage lovers out there, let us know. Drop a comment. Maybe what some of your favorite collections are. And you can always email us. We love seeing those.
Send us pictures. We're going to do a video that highlights you guys, our subscribers, with some of your Halloween decor and decorations. So please send us pictures, hallowmaniacs@gmail.com.
Of course. And thank you so much for tuning in. I think that's going to wrap it up. Remember to stay tuned. We are going to do our live stream on October 30th.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will join us. Tune in. If you have any questions you want us to answer, submit those ahead of time via the comment thread. But remember, guys, get ready. Halloween's around the corner. And remember to always stay spooky.
Trick or treat.